Okay, so now I want to go over something that's very important because a lot of the US is Christian, a lot of Latin America is Catholic, Europe is a mixture, Far East is Allah, Shiva, Krishna, a lot of different religions towards the east, Buddhism. But I want to tell you, every single one of those has one goal, and that is to raise your spirit's awareness. Okay, because it doesn't matter what you believe in, you will eventually reach a level of understanding where you will become free in spirit. And once you become free, everything will be understood. Jesus was the first one that I followed in a spiritual sense, where I actually listened to his words and I actually felt them. But I always wondered why Jesus was very loving and peaceful in the Bible. His words were of love, of compassion. And for me, that I couldn't understand, like, why is the world like this if Jesus gave us these teachings and nobody's really following them? So I couldn't understand I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't understand what it was. When I was 25 years old, I was experimenting with focus. I went to university in California. I didn't finish because I followed a different path, but I was a biochem major. I was doing fine. I started to make money, so I diverted from my focus. But even then, I was always here and there because my mind works like that. And one day, there was a group of, I don't know, representatives from ADD clinic. And these guys came to the school and they were walking around handing pamphlets out and asking you questions and seeing if you're a good candidate for their program. I was curious. I went to them and they started asking me, oh, well, do you do this, and this? And yeah. I said, oh, you have ADD. You have to come to our clinic. We're going to give you a free exam. We're going to show you how to overcome it. We're going to be able to prescribe drugs in order to alleviate and get you more focused. But I never had a problem with focus, but I was really like enticed because I was like, oh, Ritalin. I heard about Ritalin and studies. And so I went and they hooked me up to this EEG machine. I remember the company now, BioLex. And I was taking notice of everything, and they hooked me up and I was sitting there. They told me you have to get your alpha, your SMR, and your theta to cross and do certain things. And I was able to do it very easy. I started to concentrate and I was doing okay. And then when I was actually getting a good score, because I heard one of the personnel there that actually said, wow, you sure he has ADD? And then these two girls sat behind me pretty close, and they were reading a magazine, flipping the pages, and they're like, oh, look at this. And I was concentrating, but I was like looking back, and they would get louder and louder. And then I saw that I was losing focus. So I was curious as to why they sat behind me doing that. I thought it was weird. I kept trying to focus and I couldn't because they were bothering me. Eventually, because it was like an hour test, after 10 minutes, it became annoying. And I have this drive inside of me, I think we all do, that if someone starts, because I never lied, I never stole. I was always wanting to be good. And I had a passion for learning, for doing the best at anything that I tried. I wanted to do the best. So I started to understand that they were trying to make me lose my focus so that the score went down. So it was a challenge. So what did I do? I started to concentrate. I started to really like if I was about to die and I had to do it, that's how I feel sometimes when I have this pressure. And when they started to do that, I just started to really like focus, and then I just the thing started just to give me score. And they were louder and they're like, oh my God. And it got better and better because I knew what they were doing. They were going against me so that I lost on the game. It's just a game, but I reacted like that. And then at the end of the test, they were like, we've never seen a score like this. They're like, you really can focus so good. And they were like surprised. And I remember a lot of people coming around. They're like, so why did you come in here? You don't have ADD. You can focus. And I said, maybe it was just because, I don't know, I was motivated. And anyway, I still took I think it was Adderall or Ritalin, one of those. But I remember that I got the prescription. I started to take the Ritalin, but I felt too jittery. And then I was really curious, is this machine really able to help me like focus? So I started to think about it because for me, it was like a great tool for learning this, learning focus. So at that time, I was making money on other things, other businesses. And sure enough, I called the company, I found them, and I told them, okay, I'm buying a machine. And the guy said, oh, which clinic are you with? And I said, no, I'm just a student. And they're like, no, you know how much it costs? Yeah, it's like $20,000 bucks. I said, yeah, I'll buy it. And he said, what are you gonna do with this machine? I said, oh, I'm doing a research paper. And I need it, and then later on I'll set up a clinic. And he said, oh, I'm really curious of what you're gonna do, because we've never had anyone invest that is a normal person, normal entity that doesn't have any business or research grants. I said, yeah, I did it. And I brought it home and I started to play around with it. And I noticed that with a certain breathing technique, I got to a focal point. With Ritalin, I got to another focal point. And so I started analyzing all of this. And eventually, I was, 22, 23? I learned how to do it without anything. So I learned from that how to focus. And let me tell you, right now there's a lot of like headgear that actually are designed specifically for this. I don't know that they're the same quality, because I remember when I used to put the head piece on, it had, I don't know, 80 channels, something like that, and I had to put gel like in all the spots, and it was like I had to take a shower right after that. But it really was something that I think it helped me on my path. So I'm going to set up a program where I want you to write me an essay, all the young students that see this, and I'm gonna fund a headset for you. And this is one of the programs that the abundance is going to provide. for all students, because that is my main focus.